Hey guys, welcome to another G63 video. Viper Mike here. So I finally received the fuel filter that goes on top of the fuel tank of this thing. I ordered it, well, I originally put an order in about a month ago with the Mercedes dealer down in the US, and they got back to me about a week later saying that they also had to special order the filter from Germany and that it would take a while. So then I did a little bit more research, and I found that FCP Euro actually had the fuel filters. Now I came up with two different part numbers. One was a 04 part number, one was a 05 part number, and both of them said that they would work with this thing. So this is a 2013 G63, and I could not find any difference online between the two part numbers, and a few places had the 04 part number, including the FCP Euro website, and the 05 part number, everybody seemed to have to order it from Germany. So I went ahead and got the 04 part number, finally got it in the mail, and even with all the shipping from the US and the duties and stuff, it still came to about half the price of what one of these filters cost here at the dealer, and they also had to special order it from Germany. So I had to look on YouTube, haven't seen anybody make any videos about dropping the fuel tank in this thing and doing the filter, so I figured I'd make a quick video, and hopefully it'll be pretty straightforward. I've never done this before, so we'll learn together on how to actually do it. So here's the new fuel filter that came in. It looks like a typical fuel pump mount. Hopefully it's pretty straightforward to install. I guess we'll find out pretty quick. And first we got to get this tank dropped down. I've been driving this thing around trying to get as much fuel out of the tank as possible, so it's sitting, I mean, the fuel light came on, so it's sitting at about 1/8 of a tank right now, so hopefully the tank's not too heavy. I've got it up on ramps to give myself a little more space to get the tank out, so we'll get going on dropping the there's a shield there that protects the tank, and then I'm assuming there's a couple straps that hold it in place, so we'll get going on dropping the tank. Alright, so here's what we're dealing with here. I've dropped this back, I guess it's a rock shield, so I've dropped that down. I've dropped down this lower one, which I didn't really need to drop the lower one down, but I kind of wanted to just get it off to see what was behind there, so I could figure out how exactly that back one comes out. And that exposed the two bolts on each side that kind of hold this frame in. They look like they're 18mm bolts. Yeah, hard to see in there, it's kind of dark, but anyway, So they're just bolted onto the frame, but where those bolts are, it's kind of packed full of dirt and stuff. So I've got my air compressor out. I'm gonna try to blow it all out as best I can so I can fit a socket in there, and then hopefully those bolts will come out. Everything's kind of rusty in there. Doesn't look like it's ever been taken apart before, so I'm assuming that the fuel filter that's in that tank is original, but we'll see. But anyway, hopefully I can blow all that dirt out of those bolt holes and get those bolts out. Alright, so as you guys saw, I ended up having to take the bumper off just so I can get to these bolts here. As you can see, these holes are full of dirt and rust and whatever else. I was able to get this one loose because it wasn't too bad, but the rest of them are way too dirty and rusty for me to be able to get in there with the bumper on. So I pulled the bumper off, so now I'm going to go ahead and clean these holes out and hopefully be able to get these bolts out without too much trouble now. Alright, so I finally got these bars out that hold the rock guard. These were in there pretty good. My main issue with these bolts that hold the back end in, these just go right through. They go right through here, and they were just rusted right in there. The driver's side one wasn't too bad. The passenger side one wouldn't budge at all. So I ended up having to take some heat to it, warmed this part up here, and that was the only way I could get this bolt out. So after I heated this up, I was able to get it to turn, and then I knocked it out of there. So we've got these things out now. So now we need to take these tank straps off. So I believe there's just a nut in here that threads on, and then on the back side the tank strap is just hooked in. So we'll clean this up a little bit and then get my jack under the tank. I went ahead and I undid the filler neck over here. I'm assuming there's obviously wiring going to the tank somewhere, but I don't think I'll be able to get to it until I drop it down a bit. So let's get a jack under it, and then we'll take those tank straps off. Alright, so we finally got the tank down. I was fighting for a bit with this evap line. It was a bit of a pain in the ass to get off because there was a clamp up top, up on the frame rail there, that held it in place. And so I had to get that clamp off, and then finally, to get it off, you just squeeze the sides here and that releases it. Sorry, if you look at it, it's like one of those push connect things. So you just squeeze the sides and then you pry it off and it just comes off right there. So we've got our connections here. Looks like we got one zip tie holding everything in place. And then we've got that rusty ring there that's holding the filter on. So the more I take this thing apart, the more I'm realizing that this has never been done before. So I'm kind of glad I'm doing it. So we'll get these connectors off, and then we'll finally be able to drop the tank all the way down, and we'll get that ring off. Alright, so we've got the old filter unbolted. I did my best to kind of blow this area out. This thing was just covered in sand and dirt and stuff, so before I took it off, I blew it all out with the compressed air because I didn't want to get a bunch of dirt in the tank. There's actually another evap line on the back of the tank there. I don't know if you can see it, but I tried taking it off. It didn't want to come off, so I just left it because it's I have enough access here to the tank to get this filter off. So I kind of want to see what's gonna come out of this thing. See how much dirt and stuff is in there. I mean, I don't know if this thing is original or, I mean, it looks original by how old looking and rusty it is. I kind of want to almost cut it open and see what it looks like inside. The fuel that came out of there wasn't too bad. I mean, that bowl wasn't very clean to begin with, but in any event, here we are. So this is our old one. Put you guys down right here. So this is our old one, obviously. This is our new one. They're identical. So the new one comes with all these sensors and whatever else. I'm assuming that's why it's so expensive. Maybe if you could buy it without the sensors, it wouldn't be as much. But yeah, so our new one's ready to go in here. We'll plug all the fuel lines back in, and the fuel pump wiring that just clips back on. So we'll plug that in. Our little gasket here isn't too happy. I guess it's deteriorated over the years, but we'll just get it back in there. Not much else we can do about it, really. Okay, it's back in there as much as it'll go back in. Okay, it clips back on. Get our lines clipped back on. Got one big one, one small one. Can't really screw it up, I don't think. There we go. And back on she goes. There's a little indent right here, so it can only go one way. And I made sure to lube these nuts up before I took them off because I definitely didn't want to break one of these studs, because then you'd be pretty much screwed, I guess, if you did that. Now realistically, I probably should have ordered a new gasket, but I didn't. So here we are. So maybe I'll put a little bit of anti-seize on these. Why not? Maybe if anybody ever takes this apart again, it'll be nicer for them. So I've got some copper anti-seize here. Don't need a whole lot. I want to anti-seize as much as we can on this thing so it doesn't keep rusting away. Oh, I forgot the ring. Our rusty old ring here. Doesn't look like it matters which way it goes. So we'll just put it on, put our nuts back on, and tighten everything back down. I'm glad I got rid of as much gas as I could before I started this job, because it would have been a pain if there was more gas in there. No idea what the torque spec for these is supposed to be, so we'll just have to do our best and tighten them up by feel. Don't want to over tighten it, just want it tight enough so it doesn't leak. That should be good. Okay, so I'll reconnect our plugs, put a new zip tie on there, and we should be able to put this thing back up again. Alright, so as you guys can see, it's the next day now. I've got the back end put back together on this thing, took it out of the garage. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the gas station, put some gas in it, and then I'm gonna scan it with my trusty scan tool here and see if we get any difference in fuel pressure or anything, and or see if it drives or runs any different. But yeah, I mean, like I said before, that filter did not look like it's been done before. So after 10 years, it was definitely due for a new filter. So we'll go put some gas in it and scan it and see what we come up with. Alright, so put some gas in it, scanned it here. Not really getting any different readings, but it does seem to run a bit smoother. Before, under partial throttle, the RPM would kind of jump around a little bit at low RPM. Now it's goes down the road nice and smooth. The RPM stays solid. So I guess that's it. We've I think we fixed the two issues that we had with the misfiring and it running not smoothly. The one was the O2 sensor, and number two was the fuel filter. Next thing I'm going to do is, actually, I found a company online that's reasonably priced for a tune, a stage 2 tune, which will turn off the rear O2 sensors, so I don't keep getting a check engine light for those. And it'll also give me about, I think, about 100 extra horsepower or something like that. Not that this thing needs any more horsepower, but my main reason for getting a tune really is just to get that O2 sensor turned off, so the check engine light stays off. So that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But I hope this helps somebody in the future that needs to do a fuel filter, because, like I said, I haven't seen any videos of anybody else doing it in the past. So like and subscribe, and keep watching the videos. Thanks. I actually do see one thing here that's different, and that's that tank pressure differential. Now it's essentially at 0. I have to go back and look at my previous video, but I'm pretty sure before it was like 4 or 5 psi or something like that. So I think that might be like a reading between the pressure inside the tank, like at the fuel pump, and then outside the tank. And so I guess that's the way it shows you whether or not your fuel filter is clogged. So I mean, now obviously with a brand new fuel filter, it's showing 0, whereas before it wasn't. So I'll have to double check that information is accurate, that's what that reading is actually of, but I think that's what it is. So anyway, there's that.